We wanted to do a little more discussion today about what's going on with KD, where he might go,
Could go to the Lakers.
and the potential discussion of going back to the Warriors, which
And I also understand
hate.
we're going to be talking a little about Booker today.
Well,
Because Boots, I think, has some thoughts about Booker.
we'll talk about that a little later. But overall, you have to ask the question first off, why would the Warriors do this? Why would the Warriors want to get KD?
the
There's
reason
a very
would be
good reason.
And this is why, I'm going to tell you. They would do that because when you look at the Western Conference for next year, you got the Clippers who just picked John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. You got the
They're
Nuggets.
loaded.
You got the Nuggets who have Murray coming back, Porter and Jokic. Then there's a number of teams.
Who
that
else?
are Pelicans, Phoenix,
Pelicans,
Memphis.
Pelicans.
Pelicans, when Zion comes back, they're going to be great. You got Phoenix, who's another great team in
Zion
the
has
West.
never made it through more than about 15 games.
if he
The
does,
Timberwolves,
though,
that just landed Gobert.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of teams.
there's a lot of
You've got a bunch of
stacked
teams in the
teams
West that
with
are absolutely loaded. And the Warriors, all to beat the Warriors. The Warriors are gonna. I think they're gonna need to do something. They desperately need to develop these young guys, and they got to be good next year,
Okay.
or they're gonna have a problem in the Western
But so
Conference.
you're covering the reasons right now why they should consider it
Yes, I
going
am.
for KD. Let's talk about the reasons they should not do it.
Okay. Well, yes, I understand the
Why
reason.
not?
They're giving up their
They're
future.
right
I know.
now uniquely positioned to have a championship caliber team and a future at the same time. That almost never happens anymore.
I agree. Not
They
worth
would
it.
be giving away every element of their future in order to get a guy that
But
might potentially, I agree, deliver 2 championships in the next 3 years, but also a guy that is definitely disruptive to the team. He's gone public with criticism of the coach. He's gone public with criticism of his teammates.
But how will the Warriors?
He's always having to cover up after he does.
How
kinda
will the Warriors?
questionable-
How will the Warriors win without him? The Warriors might not even win.
Oh, all that has to happen. I agree.
That they just
Everything,
need- I know,
everything
all-
you said about teams getting better. All that has to happen
You still got
is
the Mavericks.
their 2 of their 3 rookies to emerge as being what we think they are, and they're right with any of those teams.
I agree.
You got Kyrie going to the Lakers, another possible one. They got to develop
Kyrie-
these rookies. Hold on, just let me
Kyrie
talk.
consistently
Let me
makes
talk.
the organization worse.
I know. All they have to do,
And
you
the
are
Lakers are
completely
already
right. Yes, they
next.
have to just develop their young
The
guys.
trouble
and they'll
with
be good.
Kyrie would be if he goes to the Clippers.
Yes, then
Because the
Clippers.
Clippers have a good coach
Yeah.
that has already shown he can deal with Kyrie.
True.
And he can deal with major personalities. A lot of people think he's the best coach in the NBA. If he goes to the Clippers, that's much more dangerous than if he goes to the Lakers.
Agreed. Okay, next topic.
Okay.
Are we really done with that topic?
Well,
Is that all you have to say, Booth?
okay.
Well, I think the basics is
The basics
just developing these rookies.
Yeah. But,
And-
okay, I'd like to make another comment now.
What about him going to the Mavericks? I would like to see that because the Mavericks are a fragile
Who, Kyrie?
organization. Yes. If he goes to the Mavericks, that organization is destroyed. And Luka will be wanting to leave.
No, I agree.
That
I
would
agree.
be sad.
I don't think
That's
his-
really what's going to happen, though. That's why. But also, I do think Mark Cuban is desperate. He's always desperate. He's always he does everything for players, and yet, other than a couple of fluke situations, they've really never been able to pull things together.
I know, but I think
He would give that a try.
he might.
But also, when you think of it, Kyrie needs the ball. Luka needs the ball. How does that work?
Well,
I
the
think-
pace of their games
I
are
think
so
the
different.
better-
It would
the
be
better
interesting to
option-
see how
Yeah.
that would even.
The
how
better
would Luka
option for
even
the
make it
Mavericks would
down?
be getting.
It's the tortoise in the
The
hare.
much better option for the Mavericks would be getting Kevin Durant. That would fit a lot better.
Well, of course. But how do you think they can? A lot of teams can get Kyrie because it doesn't take much. What are they going to do to get Kevin Durant? What does Brooklyn want
Okay. I'll tell you what they want.
From
off of Dallas?
the
Spencer,
Mavs.
they got picks. They obviously have picks. They have Spencer Dinwiddie. They have Christian Wood. They have role players. They have a bunch of
But
big-
just role players and a
No,
few picks.
yeah,
aren't
they're
gonna-
not gonna.
They're demanding a superstar plus picks. Who is the superstar that Dallas has
Yeah, they're
to
not
give
giving
up?
up Luka, so
They have one guy.
probably not happening.
It's probably
Not
not happening.
happening.
Okay, let's move on.
But Kyrie,
What about the Kyrie Katie package together? I think you have.
you would have to trade Mark Cuban's net worth in order to get that.
All right, let's move
All
on.
right, let's move on. We wanted to discuss Zion's monster contract with a guy that I don't remember seeing in a game in quite some time.
Okay, so let's start out here. Zion agreed to a 5-year, $193 million deal. Now this is
Do you realize that the deal is
it could be 235.
Yeah, or
It-
what,
it-
230
yeah,
something.
could be 235.
Yes.
That's the okay. But let me start off. They were paying a guy that just got hurt and was out for a whole season, who's been very unreliable.
How many games has he played in his whole career?
Exactly. Who's been very unreliable. They just paid this guy. They just gave him the max deal, the super max. I don't see how you could do that to a guy that didn't even play a game last year. He might have an eating disorder. I mean,
It's not an eating disorder, it's an eating nonstop.
yes.
He's got the body of a 50-year-old Charles Barkley.
But when he did, you gotta give him credit though. When he did play, he averaged 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. So when he played, he was a very, very good player. So it's not a bad move, but as long as he can stay on the court,
Are you
it's a
saying
decent move.
you earlier said it is a bad move? Now you're saying it's
No,
not
he's
a bad
saying
move.
if he ends up
If he
staying on
ends
the
up
court.
playing on
No,
the
but
court.
if is the whole basis of your contract then.
I know. It's if.
Here's
The
what I think-
Pelicans are going if.
Here's the model they're following.
They're hoping.
They're,
Hoping
follow-
big.
they're following the Embiid model. Because Embiid had basically the same problem in his first couple of years.
So what's your point? They're running a
here's
risk.
my point.
They
No,
are running a
here's-
risk.
here's
That is
my
what's
point.
happening.
Agreed, Booth.
If I'm allowed to talk, I can
Okay,
make my
go.
point.
Go.
My point is that's the model they're following. The problem with following that model is Embiid did have these injury problems, but his injuries weren't because he was 50 pounds too heavy for his size.
But
He had injury problems that might stop when you're
I
so
think-
overweight and sort of out of condition.
I think this is a bad move for
This
the
is
Pelicans.
like a late Harden model.
I think this is a bad move for the Pelicans. I do. I'm
Well,
not going away from that.
The trouble with this thing from the standpoint of the team is they really can't sign him to that kind of contract, but they really can't not sign him to
Yeah.
that kind of contract because they're going to get obliterated whichever move they make. It's like a no-win
No
trap that a team gets in with a player like that. The problem really is drafting that player in the first place, number one.
Yeah, they
They
could have
could've
drafted
got
Ja.
Ja.
They could have drafted
If
Ja.
they had that to do over again, do you think anybody would have any doubt in their mind who they should pick?
No,
but
I
quite
knew
honestly,
about
Ja's
Ja
career
before any
could
of
blow
you.
up with an
Ja
injury,
could,
too.
but it's
Yeah,
not for the
that's
same
true.
reason.
Sure, agreed.
You know what? I informed you guys about Ja, so I think I deserve a little credit.
You're going to be asking for that credit for the next 20 years.
So I will.
But that brings up another interesting topic.
What is it?
Ja versus Melo.
All right.
Okay, but anyway, I really think that's a no-win situation. So it's kind of harsh to criticize them no matter which decision they made on that.
You're right.
Because either one, they're going to get crucified for.
Yeah.
All right,
Agreed.
let's move on now. Mustard Murray.
Mustard Murray.
Oh.
Dejounte Murray.
Dejounte.
That could turn out big, but I know you've got you loved Murray.
No, I think and I'll tell you why. He's a very young player. You were right. You're right. He wasn't good really before last year. He wasn't.
The fans don't know.
Yes.
We had some off-camera talk about
Yes.
this, and my point was he kind of doubled what he did just in the last year.
Yes.
But San Antonio was kind of in a relative to San Antonio's history. They were kind of in a unique
Yeah,
situation.
they were in a hole.
So somebody could kind of dominate that situation that
But
Wouldn't have
usually when
before.
someone random, like, kind of dominates that situation, they also don't average 8 rebounds and 9 assists as a point guard.
Yeah,
That
but
doesn't
who else
usually
did they
happen.
have doing
He's also
anything?
6'6".
Who else did they have doing anything?
They didn't have anyone doing anything.
And he was the guy, really, that Popovich chose to kind of, I'm going to make you a star.
Well,
I know. Well,
Which
he is a
Popovich
star.
has done that
He's an
before.
all-star. He's an all-star.
Yeah, but is he really, or is it the circumstance? I'm not saying he's not good.
You
I think
can't
he's
say
very,
this when he just
Okay, but
with what he just averaged. He averaged 21
if we
points
really
and 8
relate
rebounds.
our prior conversation, what I was really trying to bring up is look at what
You
they
can't
had-
give
what-
him the what
look
if.
at what-
You can't give him the what if he
No, but
really
look at-
goes down the tube
look at what a team
right
had.
now at this point.
No, I'm not saying he's going to.
When has there ever been a
bad.
one-hit wonder for one season?
I don't
Name
think
one.
he's a one-hit wonder. I
Exactly.
think he's a very good point guard. I don't know if he's as good as he looked last year.
well, time will
Still,
tell.
he's
But,
a
But
strong
also,
guard. It's
what
a
I really
hopeful,
think-
it's a very good pickup.
What
Exactly,
you have to
when you-
look
especially
at
when
is
you have a small backcourt
look at the
with,
comparison between what San
And he's gonna
Antonio
keep
got
improving.
for him versus what the Celtics had to give up to get Brogdon, who's also. I agree.
about what-
Brogdon is
what about
not
what
as
they gave?
good, but if you look historically, he's way better than Murray was before this year.
I know,
no, but that's like you
Murray's
can say
only
that
played
about
for,
like
like,
Jaw.
Yeah.
Like look at the emergence
No, you
of
can't
Jaw.
say that.
Yeah, you
I-
can.
yeah, I'm saying
Although
it's like his
that
first
is my basis of very mellow job.
I'm saying
It's like
Jaw
I have to give you
in
that.
the course
It's like
of a
his first
year
two-
became
exact-
like kind of
A superstar.
an
borderline
ultra.
superstar.
I'd say an ultra
No,
superstar.
not a borderline. A
He's-
clear cut
he's-
superstar.
yeah, absolutely.
He was a borderline superstar
He doesn't
before
play
that.
defense, but okay.
Well, he's got to learn
But
how to make his
everybody,
team better. But
everybody
I'm
knew
just
Jaw
saying.
could do things that virtually no one else in the history of
I'm
humanity
just-
could do before this year happened.
Well,
It's just he started doing them a lot.
he was unproven
Yeah.
before. He proved himself
Wow.
this year.
Yeah.
He led them to beat the Warriors the year before to get into the playoffs, a team that really had not done anything for a long time.
Yeah,
He
so-
was clear cut.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I know.
But I really
that's
just
like
think-
saying
I
someone
think-
in their rookie season didn't have like a great year.
My question is, who got the better deal?
Oh,
The team that traded
it's
for
obviously
Brogdon.
the Hawks.
The team that traded for Brogdon gave up so little.
I know
The Celtics gave up that was the steal.
it was a steal, but Brogdon is a
Murray-
very good
the
player. But
Murray
you know
deal-
Dejounte Murray.
Murray has to beat. Murray almost was the same as the kind of he's like
Be very careful
almost to
with
the
what you
deal of Gobert, which is kind of what
Exactly.
Kevin Durant's
Yes.
deal is going to be based on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that Murray deal, they're paying for a superstar
Yes,
in that trade.
and
So the
He was an
question,
all-star.
I think
He's
what
a
that,
star.
I
He is.
honestly think that deal favors San Antonio.
oh, I completely disagree. San Antonio now has nothing. They are nothing.
No,
they're going to be last.
They create. This is a,
Oh wait,
this is
what do we
what
have? What?
This is
who
what
are their good
Popovich
players?
did.
Who are their good players?
They got 3 first-round picks.
I know.
This
But
is
that
what
doesn't-
Popovich does. This is why San Antonio has been good for so
Popovich is 90
long.
years old. He's going to retire pretty soon, don't you think?
No, but he's still concerned about that franchise, and he wants to leave them in really, really good shape. He is creating that by maximizing the value out of this deal.
Perhaps.
Okay,
Perhaps.
I really
Perhaps.
think this deal was a great deal for San Antonio. I'm not saying Murray isn't going to be good.
It clearly favors the Hawks. You're delusional.
And the
But let's
Hawks,
go on.
do you really think the Hawks now all of a sudden? Okay, if that deal was really what you're saying,
Carry on,
The Hawks
carry
should,
on,
The Hawks should
carry
be.
on.
The Hawks should be a championship contender now.
They are.
Let's move on.
That is nonsense. Do you think the Hawks now are better than the Bucks? No. way.
No.
No.
But I think they
Do you
could
think
make
they're
it
better than the Celtics?
I think they
They're
can
gonna
make
be a
it to the
playoff team.
NBA Finals.
That means you think they can beat the Celtics and the Bucks.
I think it's possible.
Bold.
Well, it's possible we're going to be in the lotto, but we're not going to do it.
All right, guys. Let's to wrap it up.
I give
and-
them a 30% chance.
Let me ask you another question.
No, go
We're
on.
talking about the
Go on.
value of this
Let
money.
the woman
What do you think?
speak.
What do you think about Zach LaVine signing? Is he worth that money?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You know, there's
he's
there's
a
only a
superstar.
sliver of difference between that level and in like what Steph Curry gets.
I know.
Are
I
you
know.
saying that's where he is?
No, but isn't there a slight difference? That's the slight difference.
I think they're paying superstar money. Now it's descended
Zach
to a
LaVine.
level.
Zach LaVine is a superstar.
But he can't deliver a championship anywhere. No team with him as the number one guy is going to win anything.
No.
He's got to
my
be
God.
at the most the number 2 guy, maybe the number 3 guy to really have a championship.
They
game.
do. He is the number 2 guy.
No, but I'm just saying they're having to
No,
pay number 1 level money to people that are 2 and 3s.
Zach LaVine is a superstar. He's such a good
And
player.
that
He's so
then
good.
handcuffs the team for the future.
Oh my! What? Look, you should be very careful what you're saying here, Koopy, because this is a
let's
Koopy
move,
comment.
Let's move on. Let's move on and talk about Booker for a second.
Okay. Well,
We
Kyrie
all thought really
he
to
signed it.
get KD, which Phoenix desperately wants. They desperately
I
want.
know. Booker signed. Booker signed his 4-year deal.
Oh.
I knew what you were trying to do. I knew what you were going to do. I knew he signed that 4-year deal. I was prepared
And
for
what
this.
does that mean?
That means he's locked up, but they can still trade him.
No, they can't.
They can trade him.
You're not allowed to trade the person once they sign that deal for 6 months.
Okay, so whatever. They can wait till the trade deadline. I don't care. But
Do you think
there's
Brooklyn's
no
going to wait to trade
Katie
KD
and
from the
Kyrie.
trade
They're
deadline?
not gonna. Who is Katie and Kyrie? You're saying Katie and Kyrie, right?
No,
It's a
I'm not.
package.
No.
Oh, you're
Well,
not?
one, I would like that
Oh,
to
you're
happen
not. You're
because
not.
I think
Okay.
that would destroy whatever team takes them.
You're not. Okay. Well, then what's
Let
your
us-
argument? What's
No.
one of your argument
Well,
here?
no,
I'm not following.
I thought you were going to bring up that they would trade. They'd have to eventually give up Booker to get KD.
Eventually.
KD's who they want. They don't want Kyrie.
Yes.
The only reason they would even entertain the thought of that package that package is stemming from the fact that supposedly
Who would?
KD still wants to play with Kyrie.
So who would you give up?
Wacky.
Who
Well,
would
no,
you- who
for
would you give up?
Phoenix,
Who would you give up if you were Phoenix?
if they're going to go for the package, they're giving up CP3.
No one's. Okay, they could,
They're
but they're
giving
not
up-
going
They're
to.
basically.
You want to
giving
know
up
why?
all they
You know
got.
what? You want to know why
Everyone.
they're not going to give up CP3? Because I'll tell you why. Brooklyn will not go for CP3. He is going to be 38 years old
No,
next
but,
season. No one wants CP3
He's
at this
also
point.
on an
It's kinda
affordable contract.
But-
It wouldn't just be CP3. It would
It
be
would be
CP3.
Bridges.
It would be Bridges.
It would be
It would
Crowder.
be Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
Crowder. And
probably
a slew of picks. Probably 3
Eight's a nice
firsts.
too. I would.
Eight,
So-
it would have to be 8 and 2.
That would be a trade Brooklyn would be interested in because
8 and
and
still
they
hasn't
would
signed
want-
with the Suns yet, actually.
they would want CP3 because what that would make them is a competitive team that still put people in the seats.
Okay,
That
can
would
we
be
let the woman speak
would be
now?
a playoff team.
We're moving on.
Bridging, kind of like the Warriors are going to be bridging to the
We're
next
moving
team
on.
that these picks would
We're
be.
moving on.
Okay, let's just finalize and wrap this up with what the heck and where is Kyrie going?
Okay.
Are we thinking Clippers?
Lakers,
Are we thinking
Mavs,
Lakers?
There's a slew of teams.
I mean,
Well, I
who
still
wants
think
him?
I still
the
think the
Lakers
Lakers are the front
desperately
runner.
want him.
They're
Desperately.
the front runner.
I don't know that any of these other teams they're interested because of problems they've got. Like Dallas doesn't have a point guard. He's a point guard.
Wait, what? Excuse me?
For Kyrie alone.
Luca? Luca's not a
No,
point
but they
guard?
lost the guy
Oh, their backup?
Yes.
Okay. Fair.
who's good, who
Brunson
really
is
made a
good.
difference for that team.
He was.
Well,
He could be good on the Knicks.
Kyrie would be better than that guy was,
Uh-huh.
assuming he played and was in the mood. So that's why they have an interest. The Clippers are a candidate for Kyrie.
If
Well,
Kyrie
obviously.
goes to the Clippers and actually plays a reasonable number of games, that would be a very dangerous team.
That would be a
They're
dangerous.
already the favorite. They would be the overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, that could be a problem for
I think they'd likely win.
other fans of.
Yes,
Because I
they
think-
would. Well, they got John Wall
I
already.
think, I
They
think
are.
what would happen is what's his first name, Lou?
Tyler.
Ty Lue would be able
Kyrie.
to hold
Kyrie.
Kyrie together. I got it too many to read. Ty Lue would be able to hold him in line for at least a year before he went bizarre again, and they'd win. There's no doubt in my mind they would win with that assortment of guys they've got. They'd be unbeatable, really. How would you How can you defend that team? That amount of offensive power, that would be crazy.
Yep, it would.
That would make the Warriors look like they didn't have an offense.
Yeah.
In comparison.
I know.
They'd be scoring 135 points a game. They would. No. How would you defend that team?
And they also have a bunch of defense then.
I know. So it would be unstoppable.
Yeah, but it
would explode, but it'd be unstoppable.
Who would they give up? Because if you recall, Kyrie opted in. So who would they give up?
Well, Brooklyn isn't demanding a whole lot for Kyrie.
Oh, but what they would demand quite a bit.
Picks.
They're not. It's not just picks to get Kyrie Irving.
No, but they could. You can accumulate picks.
Kyrie is a box office.
No, it
superstar.
would be a 3-4.
This guy's amazing. He's brilliant when
they don't
when
want
he's
him.
on the
The
court.
owners do not want
When
him.
he's on the court, this guy is one of the best players in the NBA.
But
he is a superstar.
He plays a
He's
quarter of the
burned
game.
his bridges with those owners. They hate him. They do not want him there.
They hate him.
They do. They hate him.
Okay.
He was so bad to them.
That's
At
true.
some point, it's over.
It's true.
Do you recall he went there and led Kyrie and James Harden and Kyrie and James Harden, Kyrie, James Harden, and KD? They all went there because of Kyrie. Kyrie led KD there.
I know,
Kyrie led
but-
James Harden there. This is Kyrie's franchise. This is Kyrie's
But
doing
the
that. They
only
are
person-
good.
They hate
were
him.
one.
They hate
They
him.
were one. If Kevin Durant's foot size was a little smaller,
The-
they would have won the NBA championship,
The
and we
only-
would have been having a whole different conversation right
The
now.
only person that could still stomach Kyrie, apparently, is KD.
Well, he should
All right, thanks for cutting you loose.
attach his saddle to that guy because I
It
think
sucks.
Kyrie
All right.
is unemployable.
Unemployable. That's an interesting take.
Interesting comment from Alec.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching sports right now. Me, Boots, Poops, and Allie. I'm going to be saying so long from our studios. Goodbye from sports right now.